Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês do Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from Inglês do Rádio. Today I'm with Ruben. What's up, Ruben? How are you doing?
Hey, Foster. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
So, just to let everyone know, I completely did this by surprise to Ruben. Ruben's one of my students. He speaks very well, and he's also a musician. He knows a lot about voicing, how to use your tongue. And he's just really open to speaking English, which I think all my students should do. So I'm forcing him to be on the show. So thanks, man.
My pleasure.
Cool. So, yeah, Ruben, if you could just tell me a little bit about your background in English. Like, you speak really, really well. You're super advanced. How did you get to that level?
I studied English for 10 years on a regular course.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to another country. It was not English-speaking country. It was, in fact, a Hungarian-speaking country.
Yeah, you moved to Budapest, right?
Yeah, to Budapest.
Yeah.
And I think I've improved my English a lot there because I was working for a global company, so I had to speak with people there in English.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. And I think that was the time that I've lost the fear of speaking in public, in meetings, and so on. So it was pretty good to me, a pretty good experience.
Yeah. And do you speak any Hungarian?
No, not at all. just a few words.
Nice. So, but you also speak Spanish too, right?
Yeah, I speak Spanish.
So you know how to learn foreign languages. You're not a beginner.
I was lucky enough to have a family very cosmopolitan.
Yeah, cosmopolitan.
Yeah, so listen to other languages was part of my childhood. So
yeah, so it wasn't like a super crazy idea for you to learn Spanish and English.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So nowadays, you said you kind of lost your fear of speaking in public, speaking in meetings and stuff. You kind of lost that fear in Budapest. So nowadays, when you speak English, like at work or class with me, do you get nervous at all?
Yeah, sure.
Because it doesn't seem like it. Obviously, people can't see you, but all the time you seem like super relaxed about everything.
Yeah, there are still butterflies in stomach when you're
Butterflies in my stomach.
Yeah, when speaking English, it's the same that happens when going on stage. So
I still get nervous speaking Portuguese every day. Like, I'm not like freaking out nervous, but I'm still like, oh shit, here we go. Gotta do this again. Yeah, so it never really stops. But you said it's the same as being on stage, which is one of the big reasons I wanted to talk to you. So you're a musician. You have a band called Instant, which is a pretty hard word for most Brazilians to say, I think. Say like instant or something. And the coolest thing about Instant is you sing, and you sing in English, which is awesome. And even my dad listened to your album, and he was like, this is a Brazilian guy? And I was like, yeah. He's like, no, it's not, man. I was like, yeah, he's one of my students, yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. That's a great compliment.
Yeah, coming from my dad, because my dad's like a huge redneck. So, yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about Instant? Like, what kind of music do you play?
Yeah, sure. Instant is a duo that I have with my friend, and we formed the band. We joined together last year. We recorded an album called Borders with 6 songs.
Yeah.
So,
Would you say that's an EP, maybe?
yeah, an EP.
Never know the difference between an EP and an LP. Like, I feel like people just give those names arbitrarily.
Yeah, me neither. I only know that this is an EP, not LP.
I think an
LP
EP
stands.
is like, yeah, we don't
I
have enough songs for a full album. So.
Yeah, sure. EP I think stands for extended play, and LP it's long play.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, that seems kind of redundant, but
uh,
yeah. So, what kind of music would you say instant is? I know how I would describe it, but I want to hear it in your words.
I would say it's a heavy rock.
Yeah, in English we'd say heavy rock.
Heavy rock.
Yeah. Hockey hole.
Yeah. It's like saying rock in Portuguese. So.
Yeah. I would maybe describe it as a little, it's not like grunge, like 90s grunge, like Nirvana, but it definitely has like a heavy grunge element to it, to me.
Yeah, a lot. I love grunge, like Nirvana.
Has like heavy distorted guitars and
Yeah, especially Alice in Chains and Soundgarden.
yeah.
So for sure, I have many influences from them
Yeah.
that I can even recognize it. It's so natural that while I'm playing and singing, I think it's so natural that I can even realize that.
I think listening to some of your stuff, it could be like a underground 90s band from Seattle in like 1992 or something, you know, which is a compliment. That's the birthplace of grunge.
But it's like Rio de Janeiro 2018.
15 years late to that train, but
Yeah.
how did you have the idea or the courage or whatever to decide to sing in English? Because I know most of my students get really nervous speaking with me. They definitely would not record an album publicly in English.
Yeah, it was very challenging for me because I had no experience with a mic or singing or
Yeah.
any of this. And I was not so confident about my English. So when we decided to do it, we came up with some lyrics. And I think to play rock, it's easier to write in English and sing in English. In Portuguese, it's too hard.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I think the intonation and
Yeah.
I think rock it's
Yeah.
a pretty English style of music.
Yeah.
So,
If you're singing rock, yeah, it's just
uh,
normally got to be more simple. Just like, I don't know, I was thinking of like a Nirvana song to sing. But compared to like a samba where you're like, Nesse do amor, like there's so much like going on or something.
so yeah, I had to do voice classes to at least get an acceptable level of singing.
Yeah. So tell me about
So-
those voice classes. So just a side note, before we started this, Ruben was like, you guys recorded a show about tongue position, which was awesome because that was very similar to what I did in my voice classes. I was like, yes, finally, because most of our students were like, yeah, the tongue position episode, I didn't really listen to that one. So what kind of exercises did you do in voice classes?
So there were many exercises that I had to do with my body and especially throat and tongue. It's hard work to have a good pronunciation
Yeah.
to get there. So
Yeah.
it's not that simple. This word you say like that, and this word you say like that.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. You have to work hard.
That's something we've talked about a lot. Pronunciation is not just like, oh, the TH sound. You put your tongue out of your mouth and you bite your tongue. Okay, I'm done with the TH forever. It's like you have to put a lot of hours in because I always say, like, think about your hands. Like when you're playing guitar, you can see your hands So if you need to play like a G chord and then you're moving to like a D minor, you know what you're doing with your hands. And if something's wrong, you just look at it and move your hands in the correct way. With your tongue and your lips and your throat, you don't see those things. And that takes a lot of training.
Yeah, you have to practice a lot until it become natural talking to someone, especially when you are in a conversation that people talk fast.
Exactly.
You have to be ready. Your body has to be ready to make the sound that you wish.
Yeah, exactly. I hate to use the phrase mind-body connection because it sounds like we are going to start meditating or something. But if you, in a fast conversation, you do not have time to think like, caraca, vou colocar a língua para fora, vou morder a língua. It just has to happen, right? And for that to happen naturally, your mind and your body has to know like, oh yeah, TH automatically goes out, you know? Yeah. So how much time would you say, like working with a voice coach, how much time did it take for you to get ready where you felt comfortable to record the album?
It took me a year.
1 year?
Until, 1 year until I felt comfortable enough to record.
Anybody listening, think about that. You already spoke good English before then, right? I mean, you spoke well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you trained for 1 year to be able to sing in English and sound like an American.
Yep.
So
pretty hard work.
Yeah, it's no joke. Like it's not like you went to a 2-day workshop and then you just came out the other side and were singing perfectly like Kurt Cobain or something. So what advice would you, I mean, 99% of my students, they say, oh, I want to improve my pronunciation. You've been through this process. Essentially, what I do with all my students is a mixture of like traditional voice coaching. Like if someone's learning to sing, we're doing a lot of the same exercises. And like speech therapy, like phonology. Like if you have problems saying a word when you're a little kid, doing a lot of those things. Most students don't really realize that kind of effort is involved. So I don't know. Do you have any like words of wisdom or advice that you would give to someone who's really serious about English, but they probably don't understand what it really takes?
Well, I think the first thing is to do some private classes.
With Foster.
Especially with Foster. Yeah, and not only practice while you're doing classes, but while you're doing anything during the day, like if you're taking a shower or if you're walking the dog, anytime it's a good time to practice. If you're not able to, to speak in that specific moment, at least your mind is working on it.
Yeah.
It will make your life easier when you get into a conversation.
Like I imagine in your case, I imagine you're the kind of guy that sings in the shower.
Yeah, not that much, but sometimes.
I always either sing or just have a conversation with myself in the shower. And I love taking long showers. Every day, let's say I take at least one shower a day, sometimes two. That's like 45 minutes of language study, you know?
Yeah. While you are driving, it's a good time to practice. You can just play Inglês no rádio episode. And
thanks. You don't have to do too much marketing for me, but I appreciate it.
And many other podcasts. So
yeah, but
it's a good time.
Obviously, Inglês no rádio is the best.
Especially here in Rio, that we have a heavy traffic. So
yeah, that's something all my students say is, and it's true. Like, I really want to learn English, but I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids. I don't have time. And I guarantee you have time in your day where you're doing something that does not require like your mental attention. Like you're just walking or taking a shower or cleaning the dishes. That's study time, man.
Yeah, sure. I think anyone can do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I think that's a great positive note to end on. Anyone can do it. Cool. So, Ruben, do you have any requests? Like, where can people find more about Instant? I imagine Spotify is the best place.
Yeah, sure. Instant is available in all online platforms like Spotify, Deezer, and we are on Instagram at official instant and also on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll put in the show notes, I'll put the direct link to Spotify so people can just click, automatically open. You can follow Ruben on Instagram, stalk all his whatever he's doing.
Hope you like it.
And if you don't, either way, you should still practice what he's telling you because it's really good advice. All right, Ruben, thanks a lot, man. Sorry for forcing you to do this, but I think people will really like it. All right, bye-bye.